Hey friends, Elizabeth here from Plant-Based Bride, and I am back yet again with another Plan With Me video. And this week we're going to be setting up my husband's bullet journal for April 2019, and we're doing an original Nintendo NES theme. So let's jump right into the video, because this one took me a while. So Jason was talking to his brother recently, and they were reminiscing about how they used to come home after school and sit down and play some good old NES. And when we were talking about what kind of theme he wanted for April, he very quickly decided that NES was the theme he wanted. So we picked some of his favorite games, some of the games that he remembered playing with the most fondness, and I designed his spreads based on those games. So starting with the cover page for April. So this is based on the Donkey Kong selection screen from the original Donkey Kong. I did do the text in more of a traditional pixelated NES style instead of the specific Donkey Kong text, just for that consistency. But other than the font change, it is pretty similar to the Donkey Kong game screen. So I have April 2019 in large font. That would be where Donkey Kong would have originally been written. At the top of the screen, I decided to draw our protagonist for the game, Donkey Kong. The most important thing for all of these drawings to make them look like the original Nintendo games is to make sure that there are no round or curved lines. Everything is straight. Everything moves along a square pixel. So that is probably what took the longest time for this setup, is that I was continually drawing tiny little lines with my ruler to try to make sure that every tiny little line was perfectly straight. Now that the cover page is complete, I am moving on to the monthly, and this monthly is inspired by Tetris. Now, for the color scheme, I stuck with something more reminiscent of the cover on the actual cartridge of the game and not the actual colors within the game itself. The colors in Tetris in the original game changed depending on the level, but they weren't as colorful as the Tetris that we are used to today. And I kind of wanted each different type of piece to have its own color, like we see more traditionally in Tetris nowadays, and like the image on the cartridge of the original Tetris. So that's what I went with, a different color of Tombow for every different type of piece. I started by creating the monthly as I normally would, and then just figured out what kind of pieces would have to fit together to make the monthly perfectly stacked, a perfect game of Tetris so far. And then I also drew a couple pieces that were falling from the top of the game. Once I finished the monthly, I moved on to the weeklies, and the weeklies have the exact same layout that they've had for the past couple months, set up to handle Jason's freelancer lifestyle and tracking for his income and invoices. I stuck with that same sort of pixelated font for the headers on the page, set up the weekly on the left side, and then did a little drawing on the bottom right-hand corner of the spread for each week, as I do every month. I also made sure to leave one blank spread behind each weekly because my husband really likes to have a couple pages to be able to just write down notes, chord charts, whatever he needs. So on this first weekly, I am drawing Mario. Now this is a special edition Mario from Mario 3 in his Tanuki suit. Hopefully I'm pronouncing that correctly. So a little bit of background about his Tanuki suit. The suit is a fairly uncommon item that you can find in Super Mario Bros. 3, and it's based on Tanukus, which is a Japanese creature who, according to mythology, can use leaves to shapeshift and cause chaos. The suit grants the abilities to use leaves to shapeshift, as well as turning into a statue to hide from enemies and hazards, and to be able to fly. The suit is very reminiscent of a raccoon, so it's a dark orange and lighter orange striped tail, little ears, and just a little hole for Mario or Luigi's face. So again, I'm making a pixelated version of the Tanuki Mario to be reminiscent of those NES games from which he originated. Next up, we have Excitebike. This was a sort of basic racing game where you were also able to design your own track and change the track, but it was all racers on dirt bikes, and you have jumps and stuff like that. So this is just one of the Excitebike racers on their bike. Again, in the pixelated style, so drawing lots and lots and lots of little straight lines. And the Excitebike image that I found that I used for reference was orange and white as well, so I stuck with that same Tombow that I've used so far for all of our drawings for Donkey Kong and Tanuki Mario, and also now for Excitebike. As always, all of the supplies that I'm using will be listed in the description box down below, so check that out if you're looking for a specific Tombow color, if you want to know the pens I'm using, all of that good stuff. As a side note about pens, while I'm on the topic of supplies, I made sure to use permanent ink pens, so my choice are these Sakura Micron pens. Because Tombow brush pens are water-based, if you're using pens that don't have permanent ink, and even if you use pens with permanent ink but don't let them fully dry, you'll find that you get smudging when you use a Tombow brush pen over top. So I made sure to use my permanent ink pens and to give them ample time to dry before I went back in with the Tombows to make sure I wouldn't get any smudging. Now that our Excitebike racer is finished, we're moving on to week 3's image, which is Mega Man. The basic premise of the game is that you are playing as Mega Man, this humanoid robot, and you are struggling against the mad scientist Dr. Wily and the 6 robot masters under his control. This guy is our first drawing to break out of our color scheme so far. He is made up of a light blue and a dark blue, so again using 2 different Tombows to get those colors in there, as well as a little bit of beige for his face. Now we're moving on to our final drawing on week 4. This one is a NES controller, and then the cord of the controller is making our little character. The character that I am creating out of the cord is a Goomba, and they are a species of sentient mushrooms from the Mario franchise. If you've ever played Mario, you're probably familiar with them. And I saw an image on Pinterest where someone took an actual original NES controller and created the Goomba using the cord in real life, and I thought that was the coolest thing I'd ever seen, so I decided to make a drawing version of that 3-dimensional art. And with that, we are finished. This is my minimalist yet intricate NES theme for my husband's April 2019 bullet journal. I hope you enjoyed this setup. As always, please be sure to give this video a like if you enjoyed it, and don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. I would like to take a moment to share some of the incredible recreations you have tagged me in on Instagram. If you ever recreate one of my spreads, I would love to see it, so be sure to tag me on Instagram at Elizabeth Turn. My Instagram will also be linked in the description box down below if you want to go follow me there. I also tend to share your recreations quite often in my stories so that my followers can see. I always love to see what you come up with, so please continue to tag me. Even if it's not a recreation, I still want to see your bullet journal. It's really fun to get to connect with all of you over there on Instagram. That's probably my favorite part of that platform. I also want to take a moment to shout out a huge thank you to my patrons and to all of our new patrons. We have so many new squad members since my last video, and I am so grateful to have you with us. So let's take a moment and go through and thank every single patron. So thank you so much to Angel, Anna, Ashley, Ava, Carla, Carolyn, Cassandra, Kathy, Chelsea, Colleen, Coral, Christina, Eleanor, Elizabeth, Emily, Ian, Jason, Catherine, Laura, Lynette, Maria, Marina, Marlou, Provost, Rosie, Sherry, Sophia, Tammy, and Vanessa. I love my Plant-Based Bride patron squad. We are such a close-knit community. We are really getting to know each other over there, and I love getting to share bonus goodies and videos and things with my patrons. So if you are interested in joining the squad, be sure to go check it out. The link will be in the description box down below. And that is it for this video. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you very soon in the next one. Bye, friends.